Hey, what's up, you guys? I just want to pop in here. I know wow, I really do have bedhead. That's because I just woke up, but this is part of kind of like my Sunday routine. As I wake up, I do my devotional, and then I check in a couple groups, and Team Courage being one of them. Definitely on Sundays to kind of see how you guys are doing, to get you guys set for the week and all kinds of stuff. However, I wanted to come in live. That's not usual, but we are kind of on a roll with this whole invite thing. And I wanted to address a couple things that I don't know if you guys have completely thought through just yet. And this is what I want you guys to think about as you're getting these messages back, or as you're fearful as to whether you should send a message out, or as you get some rejection back, or some judgment. And I know that's scary to a lot of you, and I get it. A lot of fear and love can't live in the same place. Fear, write that down. I want you guys to write that down. Fear and love cannot live in the same place. So you have to figure out where that fear is coming from. And like one of my mentors said, Danny Johnson, you have to break agreement with it. And so your fear of judgment, you have to think about where fear of judgment is coming from. Why? And is that and break agreement with what maybe something happened in high school or along the way. That's not really why I came on here to talk to you guys. I came on here to get you to think through something as you send these messages out, and maybe as you hesitate to send some of these messages out. 9 years ago when I officially started Riley is 7, almost 8. So almost 8 years ago. I don't know why I keep saying 9. 8 years ago. Oh no, Riley's not 8 yet. Oh, it doesn't matter. 8, 7, whatever. Okay. 8 or 7 years ago, whenever I started, I got a lot of resistance, a lot of judgment. And you have to understand, I didn't have a team of stories around me to share. Do you know what I mean? Or to surround anybody by, or anything like that. And so I got met with a lot of resistance, a lot of judgment. There was, Beachbody was much newer. The multi-level marketing, it was just that side of the business was much newer. So it wasn't as successful as it has now. I mean, there's so many, if you want to fact someone to death about multi-level marketing and the Better Business Bureau and what we're rated and all kinds of things that we pass every year, nobody cares, right? Except for we think people care, but nobody cares, but it might help your belief system. We didn't have that stuff back then. And the success, if you would see the charts of the number, how it's growing and the income wise and the average of what people make now, it's crazy. Anyway, so I didn't have all of that. And I got met with quite a bit of resistance, especially from those people closest to me. Okay. Those of you guys that are just tuning in, I look like I have bedhead because I really did just get out of bed. I do my devotional first, and then I check in with Team Courage every Sunday before I get ready for church. So just to kind of help encourage you guys, that's just my routine on Sundays. Anyway, but I saw we're on a roll with this inviting thing, and I wanted to address it because I know your messages are coming in and you're working through those things. Hey, girlfriend.
Hey, can I have a drink?
Nope, just give me a second, okay? And then I'll be right up with you, okay? You want to say hi to everybody?
Hi.
I don't think that outfit's going to fly for church. Just, can you go lay your outfit out for church, please? So I can finish.
We're going to church.
We are going to church.
Oh.
Okay, so, that is so good, you guys. Have you ever tried Bulletproof coffee? Do you guys like my cup? It's very, very, I went shopping. This is totally off topic. You guys didn't come to hear me talk about bras or anything, but I went shopping for bras because obviously I need new bras, all of them, and it's very sad. I could see how I could see how I end up in surgery after walking through Victoria's Secrets and looking at all those models with they look like they were just stuck on there. I could see why. I could see why and how I ended up in that surgery room. So I did not walk out and be like, woo, I feel so good about myself yesterday. But anyway, another story, another time. Okay, 7 years ago, I didn't feel so good about myself either. I mean, think about it. I was a personal trainer that could not figure out how to get like the last 15 pounds off of her. And I should say last, like I ever got rid of them. I got rid of like 5 at a time. So I would fluctuate between needing to lose 20 to 15 pounds. And as a personal trainer, I still did. So imagine like feeling fake, you know what I mean? So I have a lot of confidence. And then when I decided to jump into Beachbody, because I understood it, you know, as with all the background that I have, I understood like the fitness side of things, you know. We didn't have Shakeology back then, so I didn't have to understand it. You know, I understood, like, it was real. It was kind of workouts I taught at the gym. So I was super excited about that. And so it wasn't some quick fix or anything. Anyway, but still, like when I first started sharing it, and this is what I wanted to bring you guys back to with the invites, especially if you're a new coach and you're sending out invites, or maybe you're a veteran coach and you've kind of stepped back a little bit and you're sending back out those invites, and or maybe it has stopped you in the past of the, you know, even sending invites out. And you're nervous. That's why I saw you're nervous of judgment. What will your friends think? You sent kind of the same message to them. What are they going to think? You can't control what they think. Listen, write that down. It is not your job to control what they think. You can't control what they think. We are crazy to think that we can. Okay? It's the same. It goes like hand in hand with the parenting conference that I just went to yesterday. Loving on Purpose. Like, we can't like control our kids. That's not our job. Do you know what I mean? Our job is to teach self-control, but our job is not to instill fear in them to control them. Okay? Like freedom, like think about it. It's Sunday, I'm going here. Even in the garden, right? Adam and Eve had a choice. You can have everything, but not this tree, right? Even our Father gave those two a choice, right? We live on earth. We have a choice. We cannot control people. He wanted us to have freedom. So you're going to have people that don't agree with you. You know, you're going to have people that don't eat off your tree. You know what I mean? Like, and that's not our job to control it. You are not the message. You are the messenger. Okay? And once you kind of take that off your shoulders, this game called life, the game of raising your kids, the game of building a business, it changes completely when you take it off of yourself. Because it's not your job. It's the same as when we're delivering the message of faith. It's not our job to convince people. It's our job to be love, right? It's our job to be love, right? In this business, that's what it is. And you're still going to have people reject your beliefs. You know, I still, as loving and caring as I feel that I try to be, I'm not always perfect, absolutely not, you know what I mean? I get irritated, of course, and I make mistakes and all kinds of stuff. I still not everybody that I come in contact are like, you know what, yeah, I do believe in Jesus. Do you know what I mean? Like, still, you know what I mean? And it doesn't make me go, I wonder if he really did die on that cross. You know what, so-and-so is still not coming around to that. Maybe I shouldn't be talking about that. Right? Right? So, like, think about Beachbody, okay? Think about what you know, right? It's all about your belief, okay? Your intentions, your heart, okay? And I want you guys to think about something. If I had, okay, so I'll just lay it out. I probably don't tell these stories enough to you guys, but, you know, my high school friends rejected, and I've been friends with them since, like, 6th grade. No big deal, right? 6th grade, forever. None of them. 0. None. Right off the bat. They thought it was stupid. Actually had one who, you know, I'm not going to go into the stories on it because it doesn't matter, and I don't want to offend anybody. But anyway, so just complete rejection. Even to this day, when we get together, they don't say anything about it. They don't ask how I'm doing. Like, I don't get texts like when I'm about to go speak. Like, they're not even in the support area of it. Do you see what I'm saying? And it's 7 years, and I pretty much proved that it's successful in business and in my own personal journey. They just don't care. You know what I mean? And that's okay. But other than a couple of them, you know what I mean? There's like two of them, you know what I mean, that are, one is my financial advisor. So she's looked at my numbers and was like, anyway, but still doesn't run the business, right? No matter how many times Christy Constner was a financial advisor, Lindsay Caterino did things in finances. I've told those stories. This is just safer, right? And so sometimes it doesn't matter. But military wives, when we were in North Carolina, straight made fun of me. To my face, behind my back, sent me nasty messages. The one guy in the squadron sent me a nasty message about it, about how I was discrediting my husband and making him look like a fool. Do you know what I mean? Wow, okay. Some of you guys are probably thinking like, ooh, like if I got messages like that, I might quit. Let me ask you this. If I would have quit, would any of us be sitting here right now today? Think about how your life might be different. Susan Kuntz, would you be alive today? Mary Howard, where would you be doing today? Think about that. Kristen Evans, where would you be working today? Rebecca Bain, would your kids be going to the Christian school that you wanted them to go to? I could go on and on and on about this. Where would some of you be today in your fitness if I had said, like, took on that judgment, accepted it as truth, and quit? Where would some of us, right? Christy would be at work right now. She's sitting at home having a cup of coffee, enjoying her family. Where would Chad be right now? He would just be getting home from another deployment. Actually, he would have just got home. I just saw them come home. Chad would have just got home from another deployment. That would have been probably his fourth. Right? And so, Kelly, your son would not have any help. Think about the enormity of what we're doing. Think about the enormity of what we are doing. So it's really hard, I think, as newer coaches to see that. But I think as long as you stay focused on what this business and the challenge groups and the tribe has done for you, that's going to remind you what you wouldn't have if the person before you hadn't reached out their hand, and the person before that person hadn't reached out their hand, if the person before that one had. Think about that. So if you quit, if those naysayers or the people the close people to you that, isn't that sad? Sometimes the closest people sometimes are the most judgmental, but if you let them affect and control through fear. That's how we control people. There's only one way to control people. It was so good yesterday in this conference. Through fear, right? Through fear. There is only one way to teach self-control, which is what we're trying to instill in our kids, self-control. Because anything other than self-control is chaos, he said. That is true. If you're, like, when your kids don't have self-control, it's chaos, right? Think about someone that goes off to college that has no self-control. What is it? It's chaos. Think about, if you're, as military wives, if we don't have self-control, it's chaos when our spouse is gone. It is, right? And so there's only one way to self-control and to teach it and to be it is through love and surrounding yourself by love, right? And at the other end of the spectrum, there's only way to control is through fear, manipulation, that kind of thing, instilling fear in people, and this was a big topic on our Redefined webinar the other day, is that how people control us even through our faith sometimes. It's not works-based, but if you don't do this, if you don't read the Bible, if you don't go to church, if you don't do this, you're not a good Christian, like that. And he's a Christian. This was a faith-based seminar I was at yesterday, and that's what he was talking about. He was talking about sometimes it's taught in the Christian world. Do you know what I mean? And anyway, that's a whole nother topic. But think about it. You have to ask yourself, like, where's that fear coming from, right? Is that something you were taught? Is that something that was instilled in you? Was there a time like you were fearful of losing your friends? You were fearful of not being accepted? Where did that come from? You have to find the root of where that was applied and dig it out and get rid of it and go to the other side. That's the dark side. This is the light. Okay, dark, fear. Light. Like, there's no fear. And There's no fear in love, is what he was talking about. They're totally two separate. He said that fear, and he said fear is having faith in the devil. That's what he said. You know, he heard someone else say that, and he quoted the person. Fear is having faith, like, because that's the only place that it comes from. That's the only place that it comes from. And so I know it's hard. Okay, I do. Don't get me wrong. I still run away from my computer. Like when I sent Janelle Summers a message to speak on our webinar, I sent the message, shut it, and ran. Do you know what I mean? For fear? Yeah, you know, and then I have to go through my emergency checklist and I talk myself out of it, down, you know what I mean? Where I focus matters and all that kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? But will it ever, if that excitement yet scary ever leaves you, you're not living. See, you just are living now. You're actually living because you're doing something that actually matters, and only when you do something that actually matters do you start to feel nervous and queasy a little bit because it matters. That's called outside your comfort zone, right? When it's inside your comfort zone, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't stretch you. It doesn't do anything to you as a person. So then that's where we start to look like zombies. Like zombie state. You know what I mean? You're not excited when you wake up. You're not nervous. You're not anything. You don't have a deadline. You don't have anything cool you're working towards. You know what I mean? You're not alive anymore. And I've lived in that space, right? The nerves come in because you care. You care about people. You have to ask yourself, are the nerves coming in because you care about people and you know what this can do for them? Or are the nerves coming in is because you care what people think of you? So it's all a condition of the heart. You know what I mean? Which direction are we going? And if you're like, wait, no, it's because I'm scared about what they'll think of me. I've been there. I get it. That's where personal development comes in. You know what I'm saying? That's what is so cool about this process as you stay surrounded by us is all that fear, that kind of fear gets dug out. You know what I mean? It gets dug out and you start to go more towards this direction. And it is this direction, in the direction of love, that peace is found. That's the only direction that peace is found. Not that things won't happen, not that you won't ever lose rank or you and your husband won't ever get in a, disagreement, or your kids won't sometimes run circles around you, but there's peace in it because of the love that you've created in in your heart, that mindset over here instead of fear over here. You know what I mean? Like, anyway, we'll go into more about that later. I didn't want to stay in here that long because I know some of you have church to go to, but that's the last thing I want you to think as you're getting these messages back, because there will be some messages of judgment. I saw one message in here, that girl got her butt chewed by someone, and you respond with love. You don't respond with hate. That takes you nowhere. You know what I mean? You respond with love back to people. I'm so sorry that you took it that way. That was not my intention. I was just hoping I really, really respect you, and I love what you've built before, so I was hoping to get your opinion, and it could benefit you at the same time. So I thought I was doing a good thing, but it's not the right fit for you, and I didn't mean to offend you. You know what I mean? You go with love in that direction. But I want you to think, when you're deciding whether to send out messages or not, I want you guys to remember the story that I told you at the beginning of this about the people that came down super hard on me about 7 years ago. And still my high school friends don't talk to me about it ever. I mean, I can be in their presence and they will not say, how's Beachbody going? Have any events coming up? Anything? Nothing. It's almost like that's not what I do. I don't do anything to them. I'm a stay-at-home mom. Do you know what I mean? And that's it. Even though they know all of it. Do you know what I mean? They have talked about me behind my back. I've gotten reports back that two from high school have gone out to lunch with another person, and the other person came back and told me what they were saying about me. That was about 8 months. When did I move to Texas? Right before I left for Texas. So about 9 months ago on that one. You know what I'm saying? But when you know what your heart is, it doesn't matter. That judgment, you can't control what anyone else thinks. I can't control what my friends think. I can only control my actions, my beliefs, my heart, what I keep doing with my life. And what I always come back to is, you know what? If I hadn't invited Caitlin Redmond, Susan Kuntz wouldn't be alive today. If I had allowed those critics, those naysayers to quiet me, Susan Kuntz would not be alive right now. Do you guys understand the enormity of that? Her sons would grow up without a mom and have to... I'm not saying I saved her. I'm saying I delivered a message. I'm saying that I didn't hold someone's future captive in my mouth, and that's what I'm asking you to do. Even amongst the naysayers, I'm asking you to remember that because the person that invited you didn't let the naysayers get to... We all have naysayers. I don't know if sometimes we sit there and we get a message back and we think like, I must be the only one that... There must be something wrong with me. I'm not cut out for this. I knew it. All that kind of stuff goes through your mind when every single one of us have had naysayers. You know? I got threatening Facebook messages from people in Chad's squadron. I was excluded from the wives club in North Carolina because I didn't come to enough things because I was too busy doing that stupid beach body thing and, you know, all kinds of judgment placed on me. I wasn't involved enough, you know, because I was obsessed with something else. I wasn't supporting my husband enough because I wasn't supporting the wives enough because I wasn't going to all their activities enough. All kinds of things were said in North Carolina, which is where I launched it officially, like really launched. You know what I mean? And decided to take off and started inviting every single day like Janelle Summers told me, like I'm telling you, all that kind of stuff. That I was met with hard resistance at the beginning. Hard resistance. You know, and it doesn't go away. Your belief just grows and it doesn't bother you. You know, it doesn't go away. You know, I've had people claim that have, you know, I've been talking to about coaching and they send me a message on Saturday wanting to talk about it. And I didn't respond because I didn't see it because my phone's on airplane mode on Saturday. And so I opened it back up on Sunday. I said, awesome, I can't wait to get you all signed up. She's like, sorry, you didn't respond fast enough, so I went with another top coach. Okay. Do you know what I mean? Actually, I was like, dude, oh my gosh, thank you. That was a high maintenance individual. He protected me. See, some of you, when that happens, you guys don't feel like you're protected. You think like it's the end of the world because they went with someone else and I can't believe. Whereas my belief system is he's my CO, he's got my back. Thank God. Like that person would have drove me into the ground. You know, God knows that I am a people pleaser. And when I get hammered, it weighs on me. You know what I mean? When people are all over me about how much I text them or do I talk to them enough? Do I message them enough? It weighs on me, right? That girl would have been a nightmare, you know, and he protected me. That's how I see it. I was like, woo! Like, do you know what I mean? Like, you have to get to that place. You have to get to that place, okay? Where you know what you're doing. And you know that you wouldn't be here if someone else wouldn't done what you're being asked of. And the enormity of it is that someone that will one day be in your downline, trust me, is depressed and suicidal. There is someone in your somewhere that's going to cross paths with you that need what you have that could save their life. Just think about the things you came from. Someone's marriage will be saved because you're willing to invite, and there's 2,000 people behind every one person. There's people out there that, you know what I mean? And how do we know that? Because you all are here. And if I would have not stepped into it when everybody's making fun of me in the military, if I would have said, okay, you're right, and all my close friends, you all think you don't have a warm or hot market? I had nothing. I mean, nothing. Every person I reached out to tell me no. I have a stack like this big to show you guys of note cards of everybody that told me no at the beginning. And they were all my hot market people, all what I considered people I knew that were in my life daily, like not daily, but through military wives that I had met or high school friends that I was really close with. All no, it's dumb, it's stupid, it's a multi-level marketing scheme, no matter how much I followed up, no matter how much, I get it. So I'm going to challenge you to keep going, no matter what you're receiving back, because the enormity of it is quite simply this. If I had listened to all of that judgment, if I had let their feelings control my life, remember I started this out, you can't control how anyone feels. You cannot control how someone feels, okay? That's it. You can't control that, okay? How they feel about you. That's not your job, okay? In time, their belief can change, but it's not your job to control how they feel. We're not here to control through fear or anything, okay? So the enormity of it is simple, is that if I would have bowed down to that judgment Not a single one of you would be sitting here right here today. Kelly Brown would not have the tools that she has and needs for her son. That is the enormity of it. I'm not saying that it's because of me. I'm saying that because I took a message and didn't let all the naysayers silence me, it found its way because Rebecca Bain didn't get silent, didn't allow people to silence her. And then Michelle didn't let people silence her. And then so on and so forth until the message made it to Kelly that now has, do you see what I'm saying? There are people in your life just like that. Your life has been changed by the fact that I didn't quit, or Tracy Morrow didn't quit. Tracy Morrow was one of the founding coaches. Imagine being a founder of a multi-level marketing company, walking in. She told him no straight off the bat anyway. Carl kept trying to get a hold of her. No, we need you here. She told him no. You know what I mean? Like, can you imagine the enormity of that, saying we have no tools, we have no computer system, no system set up for you, no way to collect money, we have nothing, but we want you to start this. Imagine that. Can you imagine if you signed up with me and I said, listen, we have no Coach Essentials, we have no inviting, we have no Facebook Live, we're not going to do it through Facebook, we're going to do it by text, we have nothing. No, you have nowhere to collect money. No, we don't have Shakeology yet. It's in the future. There's something in the future. But no, really all you have is P90X. We would like you to build this thing to reach more people. How many of you guys would be sitting here? You know what I mean? But because Tracy Morrow stepped into that, I'm going to keep going back to that. Susan Kuntz is alive today. Mary Howard is living a very, very different life. Very different life. You know what I mean? Aaron Booker. I mean, the stories, I'm going to leave people out because every single one of you has a story. You know what I mean? My life, because Tracy Morrow stepped into it, my life, my marriage is phenomenal. And it wasn't before. See what I'm saying? Like, that's the enormity of it. And so I just want you guys to think about that as you're getting some of the maybe I need to share how often I am rejected, because I just don't think about it because it doesn't bother me anymore. But how often I was rejected, that I could try to find those Facebook messages. I think I had to block the people, so I probably can't get to the Facebook message. But the people that were harassing me in Chad Squadron and some of the wives and stuff like that. But I'm here. And I have peace, and I'm a better person for it, and I'm a part of something that when my feet hit the floor every morning, I'm excited. I know that I am, I have a purpose, you know what I mean? I know that I can love people well, and my family well, and I can love you guys well, and that wasn't the case of the summer of 7 or 8 years ago, okay? The summer of 7, 8 years ago is not the same, and I'm very grateful that Tracy never gave up. I'm very grateful that the Fitzgeralds never gave up. I'm very grateful that Renee extended her hand to me when she was such a brand new coach. I'm very grateful that the person before me came and withstood all of that resistance. And so I'm asking you to withstand the same resistance in the name of the people that are supposed to be on your team and in your challenge group 7 years from now. I'm asking you to withstand the resistance. I'm asking you to stand on the firm belief that you know that Susan wouldn't be alive today, that your life would be different today, that Aaron Booker would still be 100 pounds heavier, that Mary Howard would still be 100 pounds heavier, that my marriage, I might be divorced. I'm asking you to stand firm in that as you continue to reach out to people, because it's bigger than a paycheck. It's bigger than some number on the scale. And when you think about the enormity of it, you think, I am in the right place. I do have a mission and a vision, and there are people directly connected to my mission and my vision, and there's only one me. There's only one you, and you were created for a time such as this. And so I hope as you get those messages, I'm going to pray over this and continue to pray that you're able to see the good ones and ignore the bad ones, that you're able to shrug off the ones that are filled with judgment, that you are able to stay strong and focused and convicted in your belief, and strong and focused and convicted in the mission that is ahead of you, the people that are connected to you, the lives that you're going to save as you continue to stay strong and reach out. That is my prayer for you guys, and those that are the praying kind, let's get together and pray through that. Let's do that, because I do believe that we are directly connected to the lives of other people for a reason. And as we grow in our own journey, as we learn to share it, as we stay strong, as we stand up back up when we fall, we really are going to get into the houses of every family, in this country, and transform them to where they do have peace, that they do have love, that they're not living in fear anymore, but they're living in love. And so that's my prayer. I love you guys. I hope you have an amazing Sunday. You guys are doing an awesome job. The way that you stepped into inviting, whether it was 10, 40, or 70, I've seen all kinds of numbers, but the fact that you stepped into it, that you got tapped on the shoulder, and when you looked back and every bit of piece of you wanted to step backwards and say, it's not for me. You have the rooftop style leadership that you stepped into, reluctant leadership. You stepped into it anyway, because you know what? You know no one else is coming. You know no one else, nothing. Look around you. No one else is coming. No one else is speaking on this stuff. No one else is stepping in and helping people with their marriage and helping them feel comfortable in their skin and taking judgment off their shoulders and surrounding them by unconditional love and loving them hard. No one else is coming, but we are. And you got tapped on Friday and you stepped into it. You need to recognize that. Thank you for being courageous. Thank you for being brave. There is someone's life that because you have been, whether you send out 10, 40, or 70, somehow that is going to save someone's life. I truly believe that. And when you truly believe that, sometimes you cry. And that's where I've been at this weekend, thinking about all the message that have been going out, that I know that you're finding the people out there that were hopeless. And that is not a good place to be. But we're in this together, right? All right, you guys. I love you. Have an awesome weekend. See ya.